Hey girl, how you been? It's your favorite occasional late night talk show host. What's it been? 13 months? Yeah, sure. See, I know I've been away. And yeah, I know I host other talk shows. But it's you I'm always thinking about. And yeah, I know this world's gone batshit crazy since the last time you and I chatted. But here's the thing. I'm back. And this time, things are going to be different. Check it. Green screen. Yeah, I don't think you heard me. Motherfucking green screen, y'all. That's how you know this shit is legitimate. Not legit, legitimate. So when I look you in the eyes and I tell you that everything's going to be all right, I'm going to keep it 100 with you and say I'm 79% sure that's accurate. I mean, give or take. Anyway, listen, let's just stop messing around. Let's get back to work, because here's the deal. My name's Raf Esparza, and you're watching Early Late Night.
Please welcome your host, Raf Esparza.
Oh my goodness, everybody, please stop. Oh God, thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. That's so nice of you. Oh my God, Meryl, sit down. Listen. Oh, Jesus, this is kind of embarrassing. Oh my God, another standing ovation? Well, thank you guys so much. Hello, and welcome to a special Oscar rendition of Early Late Night, a show that asks all the important questions, like, huh? And who? And of course, really? We're going to be taking a look back at an Academy Award ceremony which, if the overnight ratings are to be believed, you didn't watch. But first, check out this brand new set. I wanted something that would be a mix of The Endless Summer meets Grand Theft Auto, and I got this. This is as beautiful as you can get on Fiverr. I mean, some Nigerian graphic artist gave me this for a grand total of $5. You really can't complain. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure I found it online and that you could pay somebody else to make this exact thing, but they made it for us, and that's why it's special. Check out the skyline, though. Don't you love it? It's amazing. And I know that some of you might think that this is supposed to emulate dusk. Spoiler, we tape this during the day, so it's not. But it's actually just really colorful California pollution. Beautiful Los Angeles air fills the lungs and the heart because it's killing you. Of course, it's that time again, the momentous occasion when all people whose opinions your friends and neighbors hate gather to wear expensive dresses and suits that you pretend not to love. And yes, no Oscar telecast would be complete without a little tinge of irony. We all agree that we don't care about the opinions of an elite clique of overprivileged white people anymore, yet we still spend hours on Facebook telling our friends why we hate watch the fuck out of it. The big prize, of course, went to The Shape of Water. Conservatives are already outraged and call the love story between a mute cleaning lady and a Latin American sea monster a slippery slope. Let's hope that they were using protection, though. Their baby might actually test the limits of how pro-life these people really are. Of course, it's hard to talk about the Oscars without acknowledging the biggest snub of the night. Oh, no. Not that one. Or that one. Yep, that's the one you're thinking of. You are so woke. It's cray. Yeah, I fucking use the word cray. Deal with it. Yeah, there was a lot to navigate this year. Sex scandals, diversity, an orange president with no filter, and, all things considered, the night went about as well as you could hope, with a host who had a bit that was once called girls jumping on trampolines. Of course, there were some people who used their time wisely. For example, Frances McDormand didn't just lecture us, she got everyone to look up and ask, what the fuck is an inclusion writer? Oh, and for the record, an inclusion writer is a slutty social justice warrior who does people, but for diversity. Now, this is weird, and we're all trying to work through it ourselves, but Kobe Bryant won an Oscar yesterday, and he said that he felt better about that than winning any other championship. which is some bullshit, because that motherfucker is competitive. I know a lot of people were saying Dear Basketball, but there was a lot of Return to Sender, if you guys get what I'm picking up here. Not to be outdone, though, Shaquille O'Neal also picked up an award yesterday. He was given like 9 more Razzies
For Kazam.
You gonna argue with that? Really? You guys want to go back and watch a rapping genie? No, it's cool. If that's your fucking thing, just you enjoy it, but don't tell them how to give a Razzie. That's what I'm saying, people. One of our proudest traditions at Early Late Night, that is after poorly coordinated dance numbers and burning every comedy bridge this side of West LA, are our Oscar recreations from our cracked out team of cracked out writers. First up, our hands down crackiest writer, Rob, with 3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Hey, the lady only paid for 3. You gotta get rid of that 4th one.
Hey, isn't that gonna cost property?
Yes, next up, Paul Thomas Anderson's latest opus, Phantom Thread, from a man who looks appropriately damn good in a suit, Mr. Austin Stack.
Why is it that we must engage in this absurd discourse every morning before breakfast is served? I've told you many occasions that anything can be sewn into the lining of a coat. Anything. Secrets, poems, sonnets, Green Army men, Double Bubble, those little plastic tables that they put in the pizza box, a Ziploc bag filled with scrambled eggs, a bus ticket, Tide Pods. Literally anything can be sewn into the lining of a coat. Why won't you just tell me what you'd like me, what you'd have me to sew in your lining of your next coat? Why don't you just... Thank you, seriously. Nominated for Best Picture, Phantom Thread. Well, that's fine, that's grand. Win or lose, it doesn't matter. This has turned into sheer madness. And I've had it. I've had it with you, I've had it with all of you. And Paul, are we even going to win? It doesn't matter anymore. I'm retiring. No, I'm retiring.
Hey, got a question for you guys. Do you love Greta Gerwig movies, but wish someone else would play the role of Greta Gerwig? That's super weird, but I guess you like Lady Bird. Hey, here's Mike.
Sacramento is so boring. Sacramento is so boring. Sacramento is boring. Have you had a boyfriend? No. Sacramento is so boring. Damn it, Saoirse. Remember your accent.
The Shape of Water was the big winner at this year's Oscars, a sumptuous, fantastical triumph whose magic can easily be ripped apart in seconds by our writer, Cameron.
Okay, The Shape of Water is all about a woman who likes a fish. Not like that kind of fish. More like a fish man thing. And she likes him. And she gets hired as a janitor. Michael Shannon is all, "You're just a lowly janitor." And she's all, "That's okay, I'm mute and misunderstood anyway." And then she meets the fish man and she's like, "Do you like eggs?" And then the fish man is like, "Touch me." And she's like, "Okay." And Octavia Spencer is all, "It's not right to touch a fish like that." But she doesn't care because she's real into his scales. And she's all, "You want to get out of here?" And Shannon's like, "Hey, you can't get out of here. That's a fish man. I want to cut him up and sniff him and stuff." And she's all, "But we want to make love under the sea." And it's all directed by the guy that made the Idris Elba Transformers. And that's The Shape of Water.
You know, it's a shame that Christopher Nolan's Dunkirk came up short in most categories last night, failing to win over Academy voters who apparently prefer their historical figures caked in makeup and fat padding. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Gary Oldman. If you were a better actor, you wouldn't need to pretend to be so fat. Take that. Hey, but check out this early trailer for the film, and I think you'll see why it didn't do all that great.
If you liked Saving Private Ryan, but wondered, hey, I wonder what those British guys were up to, then we've got a movie full of war just for you. Finally, A movie that tackles Winston Churchill from a way that no other... There's another one? This year? Who's it starring? No. Shit. Well, okay. Well, we've got some other stuff, too. Like the guy who directed the awesome Batmans. And that you wish directed Batman v Superman. But he wouldn't. 'Cause it's too stupid. Okay, now if we're being a little honest, I'm not sure if this is Darkest Hour or the one we're supposed to be talking about. No, okay, wait. Shit, is that Interstellar? I think Nolan directed that one. I like that one. I think. Or was that Inception? Uh-oh. It's getting confused. Okay, now that's definitely Batman. Okay, yep. When you see the Joker, you know. Hey, watch Dunkirk. Who knows? The Joker might show up.
If you have any gay friends, and it's 2018, so you probably should, or your name's Mike Pence, you would have heard them rave about Call Me By Your Name. Here's Slef with what you missed while you were probably watching Baywatch.
So I just have to pick one? Okay.
Like a girls' trip. This'll be the one we need. How does Tiffany Haddish do it? Just puts it like right. Okay. No, she's right. It feels really good. Ow! Ow! That really hurt. Oh no, it'll stay up. I'm 21. I can literally do this all day. Yeah, that's not gonna do it. Is this the only apple? Oh no. I'm really sorry. A grape? Rude. Am I in trouble? This is it.
A staunch defense of intrepid reporters investigating a corrupt president, Steven Spielberg's The Post was the perfect movie for 2017. Retro cool until you realize, oh god, it's all happening again. Jesus Christ. Seriously? You know what? Here's Sam with his hot take.
Hi, and welcome to our zany Oscar vignette for the movie The Post. At this point, you're probably expecting me to have a silly parody of some scene from the movie. However, if you've actually seen The Post, then you can surely attest that there is absolutely nothing at all to parody from it, as it consists of nothing more than Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep sitting across from each other and reading newspapers for 1 hour and 46 minutes. Of Oscar gold. Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks are at the top of their game, and Meryl Streep surely deserves all the Oscars. It's exactly the sort of existential non-movie that audiences and Academy members love, and so did this reviewer. Well, that's my take on The Post, and I'll see you at the cinema.
One of the year's biggest hits was Get Out, a movie so popular, so beloved, that it was picked right away by one of our writers, who then dropped out of the show at the last minute. So you know what? Here's some nonsense that we threw together.
This year, Universal Pictures decided to do you all a solid. Not sure if some of your friends are a little racist? No big deal. We've got the perfect litmus test for you. Take them to go see Get Out, a feel-good movie for everybody. That's right, we couldn't just call it Racism, the movie. We wanted to give you an experience that would bring racists and progressives all together in one movie theater. From the mind of Jordan Peele, their best friend who gives them Megan? Everybody loves Key and Peele. See the secret of it? All you have to do is take them to the movie theater and then look at them directly during each racist scene, just to see how they act. If they enjoy it a little bit too much, you might be friends with a racist. That's right. It's the ultimate Jeff Foxworthy litmus test.
And finally, Darkest Hour. You know, I don't usually like to talk about the writer's process, but for this piece, Jeff McKinnon actually lived as Gary Oldman, living as Daniel Day-Lewis, living as Winston Churchill. It's a level of dedication squandered on something this stupid. And you're welcome.
Hi, I'm Jeff McKinnon, and we are about to watch the entire trailer of The Darkest Hour together. Does that seem like a waste of your time? Well, then this isn't the movie for you. Oh, look, hey, it's me in black and white. See, when I filmed this, I had this very clever bit where I reviewed Darkest Hour as if it were another chapter in the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight series, and I did all these analogies and fully explained the whole thing. But then, I didn't plug in the microphone. So there were long periods of me, as you can see here, just staring at the teleprompter. And I was like, Jeff, what is wrong with you? You call yourself one of the most notable correspondents on this Oscar special? Step it up! Without your comedy, Early Late Night would just be some ridiculous, desperate living room passion project delivered by a WrestleMania-obsessed loser broadcasting over a fledgling Facebook following. The only views and shares on the video are by us. The very people on this show. So, you know. Anyways, so I'm now gonna just record a voiceover for the whole thing, you know, making this kind of like a mini podcast episode. And I'll explain. I did the bit, basically where I was saying that Darkest Hour is the most abstract and disjointed in the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight series. And there's no mention of Batman or Bane or Joker. It's just focused entirely on Commissioner Gordon having an identity crisis, taking on, retirement and obesity, in a very future that's very familiar, reminiscent of our recent past. But it only exists in his head! Is that weird? Anyways, I did a whole thing on it, and then I said that Winston Churchill persona that Gary Oldman adopted was really weird to get into because of the elaborate fat suit that I haven't seen so loosely glued to a human actor since The Nutty Professor 69, Crump with the Clumps. And I was gonna do like a graphic where I showed a fake poster for Crump with the Clumps, but I didn't really want to do that. As you can see, there's a lot of yelling in this movie and some cool war stuff, and he's yelling about Dunkirk, and I made this clever oh, Christopher Nolan, you're doing a crossover movie because you did Dunkirk, and these both are concerned with Dunkirk, and it's like a choose your own adventure. And then I had all these things that I thought that Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon looked like, or as Winston Churchill. I had one where I was like, oh, he looks like a hungover Elton John, or Michael Caine after he swallowed Steve Bannon, or Tilda Swinton after a bender. And I was like, actually, it looks like my grandmother on a bender. Or constipated James Corden. Anyways, that was the extent of the jokes I had, and that's it. That's the whole shebang. So I guess I'll just say, this has truly been The Darkest Hour. Back to you, Raph.
And you know what? That's going to do it for us, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's installment of Early Late Night. It feels so good to be back. It's so great contacting all the writers and getting them, to get back to work and yelling at them and saying, where's your shit? It's one of my favorite things in the world. But I wouldn't trade it for anything else. Being away from this little show has been, it's hard, you miss doing it. So here's how it's going to work now. If you guys want to go to Patreon, you can find out more information. There's a link down below. You can also go to earlylatenight.com. We'll explain how the new talk show is going to be working. It's pretty simple. We just hope that you guys will support us. We want to start paying our writers. We want to start paying our contributors. We want this to be a fully functional show. And we've always enjoyed when you guys came to see us live, and we're looking to have live shows again. But first, we want to make sure that this thing is structured. We really hope you guys come to support us, because you've always been so amazing with us throughout all the years that we've been doing this show. So we hope that you'll subscribe on YouTube, check us out on Instagram, and what's the other one? The Facebook? Is that what the kids use? Sam? Yeah? Okay. So check all those things out, and on behalf of all the cast and crew who put this all together, thank you guys for tuning in this week. We will be seeing you again on a much less Oscar-themed show, so it'll be back to the normal early late night that you know and love. So, from all of us here, we hope you have a great rest of your day. Have a great early late night. Hi, everybody. This is the closing credits. So, as I did it, I thought it would be fun to discuss a prompt that we put up. The prompt that we put up said, if you were to hand out your own Oscar category, what would it be and who would win it? And we said we'd read the best answers on here, so we're going to do that right now. Some of these are good, and some of these, Adam Sharple says, best background actor trying to make the most of their 10 seconds on screen. That's a pretty good one. But extra work is nothing to laugh at, everybody. Best performance, barely holding together a garbage film. Winner, Meryl Streep. I think she's got about 19 of those. Gary Tonin chimed in. Best children's movie to watch prior to engaging in sexual intercourse. Okay. It got one laugh emoji. Joel Chamara said, best delivery of lines in English that clearly would have been spoken in another language had it not been the context of a movie because Americans won't cave to reading primarily subtitles. That's a really long sentence. I don't know that I committed to reading it fully myself as an American. Carlos Terran says, performance most likely to make me question my sexual orientation. Good. Everybody's really, they're bringing their A game. Nicole Kidman, award for Best Nicole Kidman. Winner, Nicole Kidman. But every once in a while, I'm a runner-up. That's from Mario Fusha. Saul Garcia says, Best Grappler to get recognized because of Holic. And the Oscar goes to Gary Lee Tonin. Fair. Mike L. Bushby says, Best Fight Scene. Lifetime Achievement Award to Keanu Reeves for John Wick. Jitsbro, which by the way is a name, says, Most Humble Person Ever. I'd give it to myself. I like this one. And Best Picture, this is from Mike Stallings, to wait for to come out on Netflix goes to, for me, that's personally going to be Dunkirk, because I did not go see that movie and I really want to. Byron Irving says, Best Worst Culturally Appropriated Performance, Johnny Depp as Tonto in The Lone Ranger. This is a award no one wants to win and acts as a deterrent for casting directors. Catherine Weary Miller says, the Judy Greer Award for Most Annoying Best Friend in a Romantic Comedy. That's the saddest. Most Unrealistic Fight Scene is an actual category they should give out. And that's from Andrew Shaw. And Byron Irving points out, Most Pointless Action Movie, Jurassic World or any Fast and the Furious, Post 5. Byron, I'm going to ask you a question. This is important. Why Post 5? Did you think the other four were well written? Did they have a standard of Fast and Furiousness that you just, you know what, going too deep? That'll do it for this week's segment. We're going to have another one to chime in next week, and we'll read some of those. Again, thanks for sticking around. I wouldn't have, but I'm glad you did.